Kathy and give her crap for not attending our meeting. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we doing? What time is it? Time? Or 9? 9 o'clock. 8:59. We're starting early. All right. We are going to get out of here a little bit early, which will probably be 9:55, if not a little bit sooner. I've got a 10 o'clock in the conference room that I can't miss. So, at any rate, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I put this little Michael Jordan quote up there if you haven't seen it. Everybody read that? We're ready to move on? I just like that because Michael Jordan's one of my favorite, if not my favorite basketball player. There's your sales motivational quote of the day. Don't be afraid to fail, basically. So, at any rate, this is our July meeting, and I didn't realize Nikki was going to be here. Since Kathy begged me, literally begged me to come and do this, I thought that she might actually show up in person. So, at any rate, Nikki is here with Old Republic. She is providing all of our little goodies over there. So let's give her about 60 seconds to say good morning. Does that work for you?
Yep, works perfect. Morning, everyone. Real quick, just wanted to touch on a couple changes we recently made to our plan. Well, actually, it's been a couple months now, but back in April. So you guys still have your E&O insurance with Crest, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So big benefits to using the Crest policy. We have both our brochures back there, but make sure you grab the one that says Crest 12-month plan. It's $15 more, so the ultimate protection is $390 instead of $375. But remember, that includes the roof coverage. So that option that's normally $100 and gives you $1,000 worth of roof leak coverage is included in the Crest policy. Also, when we changed our plan in April, we added some coverage into the ultimate protection. We're now covering hydrojetting in the ultimate. It used to only be in the platinum. We're covering whole house fans. We're covering ceiling fans like for like, no longer just builder standard. So there's a lot of coverage that's been added into the ultimate. And then in the platinum, we upped the modifications from a $500 limit to a $1,000 limit. So there's definitely been some good changes that have come out in the last few months, as well as adding solar options for pools, solar hot water. So if you don't have one of the new brochures, make sure you pick one up over there. So when you're writing the contracts, you have the correct pricing with all the new options that are available, and are getting your clients, the best coverage possible. So, does anyone have any questions?
That you said that roof coverage is still the same?
The roof coverage is still included in the Crest policy.
I mean, same amount though.
Yes,
same
the
limit.
roof is still a $1,000 limit. Correct. Oh, we also cover doorbells in the Crest. I know that's a little option, but the doorbells are covered in the Crest and they're not in the regular. So another benefit to it. So, any other questions on the warranty coverage?
Can we toss the old Crest one?
Yep, toss those, because those are no longer in effect. So if you have a bunch of those piled up on your desk, toss them. All the new ones are over there. They're red now, and it has the, make sure it's got the $390 pricing on there. Any other questions? Okay, well, Kathy and I appreciate the business. If you guys need anything, just let us know, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Appreciate keeping it short. That's nice. And just so you guys don't get lost, because we know we've got a few new people in here. Not a lot, but actually none. But the Crest, that is our E&O carrier. Okay. So actually, we probably should just throw out all of those brochures that don't say Crest, just so you guys, if you are pulling those, who's using Old Republic? Probably most of us in here are using Old Republic. But anyway, the Crest policy, because I don't know what the relationship. What is the relationship exactly? Are you guys like your parent company, same
No,
insurance underwriter?
Crest has 3 qualified home warranty companies that they let you choose from in order for it to tie in to your E&O deductible.
Right.
We are just one of their preferred home warranties. We're not related.
You're not underwritten by the same company.
No.
Okay. Well, there is a selfish benefit, which it makes it easy to kind of make this pitch because most of you are already using Old Republic anyway. But there is a benefit, frankly, to me, in that if there's a claim made with the Crest policy, it doesn't eliminate the deductible, but it does.
$2,500.
It takes the deductible down. Our deductible is $10,000, by the way. So if we have a mistake, even if we don't have a mistake, if we have a claim, whether we're right or wrong, then that ultimately I end up having to push that over to our carrier. The check goes for $10,000 no matter what. Whether we were super egregious in our mistake or whether it's just a buyer or a seller just going crazy and wants to get money for no reason. So if we have this policy in place, it certainly helps us. There's also, isn't there some seller protection in there as well?
Yeah, if you have the seller of the property, and the seller's not a bank, so just a regular seller, which we're getting a lot more of these days, so that's good. Your seller gets $25,000 $1,000 worth of protection if the buyer sues them within the first 6 months of escrow closing for something like failure to disclose.
Right.
So there's a huge benefit, especially if you're on the buyer or the seller side, to have that 25 grand just for using the Old Republic policy.
So there is, it's not just completely self-serving to use the Crest policy. There is some benefit to the seller to grab a hold of that. So anyway, thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Say hi to Kathy for us.
I will.
Okay, we've got, unfortunately, we're doing a terrible job communicating. We do have 4 new agents. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the 4 agents actually know we have a sales meeting on the 1st or the 2nd Wednesday of the month. So I've got to get with Anna and do a better job of communicating those. So we'll probably reintroduce Gabriel and Griselda and Johnny and Manny here at the next meeting, so they actually know we've got the sales meeting. Just a quick comment on this. The market's changing, guys. The market is changing. And if for no other reason, this, and not that this isn't 100% Ingrid's, by the way, thank you, Ingrid, I appreciate that. But it's just different. A lot of these people are new. I think one of them is coming from another office. But there is some excitement about getting into this business, which frankly may just kind of make everybody in this room say, oh man, really? You know?
Once they see the inventory problem, they'll be backing up.
Yeah, you know, it is kind of a double-edged sword, because as the market gets better, more agents tend to see it gets better, which means now we're competing against a bunch of huckleberries out there, and now we're losing listings to the seller's sister's aunt's nephew who just got their real estate license. So there is some negativity, if you will, but I was at the board of directors meeting for IVAR yesterday, and I've been looking at these reports every year for 6 or 7 years, and you know, the number of new agents coming into the business has been small, and now it's started to month over month starting to increase. So I consider that a good thing. Obviously, I like it for the office. I'm assuming most of you probably don't care whether we have new agents here or not, and may even see them as a pain or even a threat. But at any rate, bottom line is there certainly is more buzz getting back into the business. The website portals, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in the meeting. I mentioned last month there is a program that we are going to be adopting now. As a matter of fact, we're doing training today at 10 o'clock for this, called Wolf Connect. It is a back office software program. I mentioned it last month. It has a agent interface to it. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to be looking for some beta testers. But before you raise your hand on beta testing, let me give you a brief summary of what this is about. By our next meeting in August, we will have the program in place, and it'll be available to everybody. I'm hoping within the next week or 2, it'll at least be available for me to start playing with it. And if there's 2 or 3 of you that want to play, or frankly, if all of you want to start playing with it in the next week or 2, as soon as I have access, I'll give you access. But basically, this is what it does for you, okay? You will be able to log on to, for lack of a better word, the new company intranet site, okay? Username and password protected, so you've got your own little access. It'll have things on there, which I think probably the most valuable thing to you guys, although I think there's a bunch of things, but probably the most valuable thing that you might be interested in, say, hey, I'm interested in having access to this, even though you may not go into it every day, is you will be able to go in and take a look at your personal data as it relates to what business you've done this year, what business you did last year, number of closed sides, gross commission, net commission, how much expenses, how many E&O transactions have I paid. You'll be able to run that report in real time, pretty much 24/7. Matter of fact, not pretty much 24/7, 24/7. So if you've got an appointment to see your tax guy tomorrow and you can't get a hold of me, or Lily or Sarah's not available, and you want to know, geez, what did I do? I lost my 1099. What did I do in business last year? Boom, you pull it up, it's all there. You'll also be able to take a look in real time what you did this year, month to date, year to date, whatever you want to do. You can also take a look at your pending current business. I got a little smile on my face because I'm hoping that at least all of you will see a little bit of value and go in periodically. I don't expect you to go in and live in this program once a day, but maybe once a week or once a month or more often, you may want to go into that program and say, what do I currently have open? Which you probably already know. I've got 1 escrow open, I've got 10 escrow opens. But it'll also give you what those projected close of escrow dates are, and what the commission is, and what your portion of that commission is. So if you just wanted to say, hey, if everything I have open closes, what would be my net commission on these 5 deals? Click, 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 boom, there it is. So I think I would see some value in that if I was you. I do that sort of stuff all the time on my personal business and on the office business. The reason I'm hoping you guys see value in it is because I'm also hoping you will log in and you will see the errors in the system. Keep in mind, the data that you are going to see is only as good as the data that you have provided to us. So if you're not using SkySlope, or if you're not inputting your listings into the MLS, which is a conversation we're going to have in a minute, then that information obviously can't be reflected into the system, because what's in the system is only what is the data that's been provided. If you are looking at saying, what am I going to close in July, and you know that you've got 3 transactions that are going to close in July in your head, but in SkySlope and in the MLS or whatever other sources you show those properties closing in August, well, then your numbers are going to be skewed. So what I'm hoping is you're going to say, geez, this is going to close in July. Let me go in and update the close of escrow date. So there's a bunch of other things it does. It's going to have the training calendar. Who goes into our website to see the training calendar? I know I asked this before. A couple, 3 of you, 4 of you. Okay. Well, we're going to abandon the training calendar on the website. We're going to put the training calendar on the Broker Connect. So it'll be kind of a one little interface site. All the stuff that we're doing, any upcoming events, training calendar for the whole office will be there. We'll have little announcements. It'll send you a quick little, on anything we're doing, whether it's something as simple as, hey, yes, there is a sales meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. At least 4 or 5 people a month will text me or email me a day or 2 before the meeting and say, are we going to have a meeting tomorrow? Stephen did it yesterday. Are we going to have a meeting tomorrow? Okay. Not that you can't still do that, but you'll be able to say, if you're logging into this program, it'll be, yes, we're having a meeting on Wednesday, be there at 9 o'clock. So, at any rate, I'm kind of excited about it. It's expensive. Oh, by the way, we're not charging the agents or anything for it. It is an expensive program to implement, and it also ties in with our accounting and back-end software. So, anyway, that's going to be live, hopefully no later than August 1. So, if you guys want to beta test, who's interest? First of all, who has any interest in this at all? And be honest. If it's just whatever. Okay, I got a few of you. All right, cool. Then if you want to beta test it, then let me know. And again, the beta test is going to be short. It's just literally going to be a couple weeks, and it'll be live to everybody. Again, our calendar will go on there as well. So we will abandon the calendar on the website. So for those of you that raised your hand and said, hey, I do go to the website to look at the training calendar regularly, then you're definitely going to want to make sure you participate in the Wolf Connect deal, because that's where the stuff's going to be. Monthly sales awards. We've missed. It's been 3 months. We got off track when we did our big shindig out in Ontario. So we're going to do April, May, and June. I had an idea of how these numbers were going to shake up, but I was a little bit surprised. Not completely, actually. But our monthly sales awards for April sales was Stephen Amaya. So before Stephen comes up, yeah, give him a hand. But before he comes up, our May top selling agent was Stephen Amaya. And our June top selling agent was Stephen Amaya. So you either gained a lot of respect or everyone's going to hate you. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So at any rate, here's April, May, and June. I'm going to ask the question. I already know what the answer is. What are you doing, brother? Just working. I knew he was going to say that, because that's what he always says. You know, it's not. You know, you got a coach. Who's your coach? Mike Ferry? Tom Ferry?
Tom Ferry.
One of the Tom Ferry guys. We won't get into what that costs and what the commitment is and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But he's just working. You know. So maybe you might want to take Stephen to lunch. See what this guy's doing that is so fantastic. Anything super fantastic or just luck? There's nothing wrong with luck. Did you plant your flags for 4th of July?
Yeah.
Who planted flags for the 4th of July? A couple, 3 of you? Well, you don't count, Mark. You know, it sounds silly, But all of those basic things, like planting, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, planting flags on the 4th of July, you know, what did you have? Well, you planted a lot. Did you do all 2,000?
Like 1,800.
1,800 flags? What did they cost you? 50 cents a piece?
Less than that, I think.
30 cents a
Yeah,
piece?
something like
Okay, so he's got, what'd you spend? 700 bucks on flags?
that.
700 bucks on flags. Take some business cards, loop them onto the bottom, plant them in your farm. And did anybody drive through a neighborhood? I drove down, I live in Riverside, I drove down Canyon Crest, our country club drive in Canyon Crest on the 4th of July. Or maybe it was the 5th. It's kind of cool. I don't know who it was, but somebody was planting flags. You drive down the street, a little corner of the lawn, right at the sidewalk of the driveway, a little flag there, you know, little business card at the bottom. So that stuff pays dividends. I mean, it really does. It absolutely pays dividends. So anyway, congratulations, Stephen. Good job. We don't have, we'll talk a little bit more about listing inventory. We don't have an April and May top listing agent because there wasn't enough listings reported to make it worthwhile, but we do have a June top listing agent, and that's Diane. So give Diane a call. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay,
Um,
thank you.
One of the reasons, I mean, we've been talking about this for a little while. I think this is going to change. I think we will have top listing agents pretty much from this point forward, if for no other reason. We're getting listings. We weren't getting a whole heck of a lot of listings prior to recently. But I did notice something. I noticed there's a lot of listings that we are taking internally that are not getting into the system, guys. You know, we've been kind of talking about this with other offices and other agents. We are just as, assuming that there's guilt associated with that, we're just as guilty as anybody else, because I was going through it, taking it. By the way, if you don't put your listing into the system, I'm having a hard time. Not so much I don't want to give you credit for it, you know. So if you took 5 listings in April, it's not that I wouldn't give you a plaque that says, hey, you're the top listing agent in April. The problem is we're not, it's hard for me to tell because the way we're not reporting these things. So I think that's going to change those. It is,
How do you know that they're not putting them on? How do you-
because I know people have closed transactions and they're not showing up during the month and the time that they were reported. There's a lot of, it was active on
So
for
you're catching it a month later.
I'm catching it a month later, or it literally went immediately pending within minutes. But it also didn't go in necessarily in the same month. So in other words, maybe you took the listing in April and you sold it in April, and you closed it in May, but you didn't even put it in the MLS until after close of escrow date. Which again, under certain circumstances, that's okay. There's 24 circumstances that's probably not okay. We'll define what's good and what's bad, depending on which of those cases are. But there's definitely a few of those. Yes. Well, I'm looking at them both, but normally I'm going through the MLS. The MLS is what I'm looking for. Which, by the way, and let's come back to that in a minute. I just thought of this. This new program that we're using, this Broker Wolf or Loan, what did I say? What's it called? Broker Connect or Wolf Connect. Wolf Connect. That integrates with SkySlope. So for those of you that are using SkySlope, again, it's music to my ears. And if those of you that are using SkySlope find value in this Wolf Connect product, you're going to be really happy, because if you change the close of escrow date in SkySlope to August 15th, that automatically changes it in our system, which will automatically change it in the Wolf Connect system, the system that you guys are going to connect to. Well, I've kind of made a minimum standard. If we don't have at least 2 listings in the month, I'm not. Well, where are they? With list dates in April and May. Pull them up and show them to me. I just pulled in this office. I just pulled. Well, let me tell you what I'm looking for. If you listed 3 properties in April, you do not have 3 list dates in the month of April, because I just pulled them. And there was not one agent in this office that had more than 2 listings in the month of April. And I don't frankly think, I don't even think you were in the 2. So, let's just touch base on that real quick. Let's just suppose for a moment, who has a listing that they have right now that's not in the MLS? That's in escrow. Okay, you guys, then let me talk to you guys specifically, okay? Let's assume that there's a valid reason for that and we're following all the rules. If you are you gonna, let's also pretend you're gonna close that listing this month.
Close today.
It's closing today. When did you list the property?
June.
In June. Okay, are you gonna put it in the MLS? As an
Yeah.
active, pending,
Sold.
sold, all on the
Yeah.
same day?
Well, this is different. This lady she's a pastor at a church.
Okay,
She didn't want, there's a bunch of realtors that go to her church. She didn't
Okay.
want it on the market,
okay,
so that's what we sold to you guys.
okay.
So I guess that's a different.
As long as the seller's okay with, guys, we can talk about the problems with this. There's a lot of reasons, well, we've done that for years, and we've seen it in the MLS, reported for comp purposes only. Never on the market, put in MLS for comp purposes only. You pull it up, say, wow, there's a sold property. Nobody ever had a chance to buy it. Okay, but getting back to getting credit for that listing, if you're going to close that listing this month, if you took that listing in the month of June, then you need to put it in with a list date of June 3rd.
It's improvement sky slope. I probably got like.
Yeah, I get you, but it's still not in the MLS, because I'm checking the stuff that goes into
And
the
the
MLS.
problem is if you put in the MLS with a list dated June, you get fined
Mm-hmm.
$3 million, which I
Yeah.
did.
$250 I had to go pay.
Right, you mean with a back date?
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is why I'm not finding your guys' listings.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing that. But that's exactly the problem. So that's the point I'm trying to make. And the larger point is, let's suppose,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I said
Oh,
that
yeah.
there's no top listing
It goes
agent
up
for
to like
May.
$1,000.
Let's just pretend that the listings that Stephen and Diana have right now, or Diane have right now, let's just pretend that you took 5 of those listings in May, you never put them in the system, they haven't closed yet. So you're like, wait a minute, I did 4 listings in May, I did 5 listings in May. Well, you did, and by the way, even though you guys are using SkySlope, we still are probably
Right.
about a 70%
I'm
adaptation
behind.
into
I know.
SkySlope. A lot of you aren't, Rose.
I
So,
don't know.
you gotta be. I mean, it's gotta happen, and frankly, that's another reason why we're gonna use this Wolf Connect program. So, well, let me ask you a question, guys. Is it important, if you took 4 listings in the month of April, do you want to stand up here and get a plaque for it, or do you care less?
I'm
Bonus
so
would be
far
nice.
behind right now.
Huh? Who cares?
Well,
Okay,
I
if
care,
you
but
care
I'm
about
so-
it, then you need to report your sales. It's just that simple. If all you care about is cashing the check and I don't give a rip. By the way, this will catch up to you at the end of the year. At the end of the year, I will be able to go through and say, okay, there was 17 listings and 22 sales or whatever it happened to be. But on a month-to-month basis, it's really, really hard. Really, really hard. Because you guys aren't reporting your stuff. So, at any rate, enough on that.
okay.
So, at any rate, but the sales are getting better. The one second. What happened here, Anna? I got disconnected or? I know, but I wasn't on my. Okay. Show a little bit of market data. What's inventory doing, guys? Inventory it sucks. I got up and I got it sucks. Okay, I would say both of those statements are true. This is live data. I just ran this this morning, a couple hours ago. This is median price, all of CRMLS through the end of June. This number is, what's our median price in CRMLS? Anybody else stuck your head? Quick, you got about 3 seconds. It is $350. Now, something has changed. I called the guys at Brokermetrics yesterday. And also, if you notice on this chart, what have we been saying for the last year? Property values bottomed February 2012. Well, if you notice this chart, well, January 2012 is now lower than February 2012. So I called my buddies at Brokermetrics and I said, what's going on?
This is median sale price. Not
Median sales price. Median sales price. But what's happened, a lot of the numbers that we've been looking at, and this really drives me nuts because I don't know what I can do about it other than just acknowledge that things have changed. CRMLS about 4 or 5 months ago, merged with SoCal MLS.
Right.
Okay? SoCal MLS, for those of you that aren't familiar, was, for lack of a better description, most of North Orange County and most of South LA County, Long Beach, for example, and Whittier and Huntington Beach and all the rest of that sort of stuff. What I found out yesterday is that Brokermetrics over the last 4 months has been merging in to the CRMLS data all of the
So diluted it.
SoCal data. So up until probably 4 or 5 months ago, we were only looking at the CRMLS as we knew it. And the CRMLS as we knew it was basically Inland Empire. Now when I run my CRMLS reports, I'm getting probably 75% of Southern California. Okay?
Wow.
So, but I'm going to make a new report, and instead of having it CRMLS, we're going to do Inland Empire. It'll give us a little bit better idea. Frankly, this chart will change. It will go back to the bottom of the market being February. But I pulled this one up for no other reason, for 2 reasons. Number one, if you guys are pulling CRMLS data and you're running these type of reports, you need to understand CRMLS is no longer what we used to think of CRMLS as. It includes Huntington Beach. It includes a lot of Orange County now, and Long Beach, for example. So the numbers are a little bit different. But at any rate, the chart's basically the same. Another thing I noticed, this is what prompted me to call him yesterday on the supply and demand. I said, wait a minute, I follow these charts every month. This chart did not look like this a month ago, because if you look at this chart now, inventory bottomed in February, March, upticked in April, upticked in May, it's pretty much the same in June. That wasn't the case when we ran these reports last month. But now this report includes all of the SoCal data. So when you put all that data together, we're starting to see a little trend line of the inventory going up. I didn't run the Inland Empire because I just discovered this last night. But we all know that the inventory in Moreno Valley is up, right? Because we all follow it every day. What do we got now? 190?
Yeah, it's over 190.
190 homes compared to last month was 125?
Yeah, maybe a little less than that.
Okay. Well, inventory is up. We can talk about the type of the inventory, the quality of the inventory, how much of it's actually hitting the market, how many Stephen and Dianes do we have out there that are listing properties for church members who don't want their members of the church to know, so they keep it off the market. They don't want to be bothered. Okay. So we can go through that sort of scenario. But the bottom line is inventory's up. Prices are up. So I still have all the same concerns I've had before, but I got a big smile on my face because inventory's up, prices are up, commission checks are up. Who in this room has made more money in the first 6 months of this year than they did in the last 6 months of last year? Most of your hands should go up. Okay? Let's just suppose you did the same amount of business. You closed 4 escrows in the first 6 months or 24 escrows. Unless you're cutting commissions, your income should be up by at least 35 to 40% because the commission checks are up by 34 to 40%, if not more. So there's 2 things that we've been talking about. I've said this at least a half a dozen times in the last couple of years. There's 2 things that we need to help our business. Number 1, unit prices would be helpful. So instead of cash and bringing in gross commission checks for $3,000 and chopping that up, let's bring the unit prices up. So now we're bringing commission checks in at $4,000, $5,000, $9,000, whatever it happens to be. And then the second one is unit sales. Unit sales are also up, guys. If you take a look at this chart, again, the numbers got skewed because they added some CRMLS stuff in here. But the under contracts are still up. And actually, this doesn't make sense. I got to call them back because if this did include all of CRMLS, this number should be, or all of SoCal, this number should be a lot bigger. It can't just be 13,000 because that's what it's been the whole time. I got to get some information from them to find out why these reports are a little bit different. But the bottom line is the pendings have gone up from 6 months ago from 9,000 to 13,500, and the solds have gone up from about 9,000, 10,000 to 13 or 12,000. 20-30% increase in sales. Got to get our piece. So, at any rate, I'm very excited. There's, with all the fundamental issues in the market that are still kind of scary, the data looks good, and I don't anticipate it to change. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I think this next slide ties it. Yeah, it does. This next slide. Who's subscribing to DS News and Housing Wire and all the rest of that? Okay, if you're not, you probably should. Not probably should. You should. I want to pull up just a couple of quick headlines, and I wish I had the time to read all of these. Have you been in here? There we go. I wish I literally took the time every day to read all these articles. I certainly don't. But I'm just going to scroll through some emails that have come in the last 2 weeks. Just looking at the headlines. Asking home prices show impressive gain in June. Rents pick up. And again, keep in mind, this is not Moreno Valley. This is not SoCal. We're talking, unless it says otherwise, we're talking kind of national news. Report projects above normal price growth. Strong gain in Metro. Have we seen above normal price growth? Just a little bit. Foreclosures are down. I think we all know that. Forecast points to steady price growth led by California. Guys, I mean, there's just so much positive stuff out there. Quick question for you. Have any of our buyers lost confidence?
Yes.
I heard a yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Confidence in what regard? In their ability to get an offer accepted, or they just don't like the market?
And their ability,
That and rates.
the rates are going up.
Okay, well, let's one at a time. Their ability to get their offer accepted?
Yes.
They're frustrated, but that's not new. I mean, they've had that frustration for years. Rates are concerning them?
Yes.
Rates have ticked up? Have they lost confidence in the market? Do they still want to buy, I guess is my question.
Yes.
They still want to buy.
Some of them
Okay.
can.
When you have your buyers start telling you, I don't want to buy because of X. I'm afraid of the economy. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. I think rates, property values have gone up too high. The next person you need to talk to is me. Hey, just so you know, I lost a buyer today, and because they lost confidence in the market, not in their ability to buy the house. And I would suggest that those people who have lost confidence in their ability to actually get the house, you need to tell them inventory's going up. The investors are kind of gone. You know, who's working with an investor in the office right now? Okay, a couple, three of you. It used to be everybody. Okay, investors for the most part, the values have gone up too high. So it is frustrating. Brad's here. Welcome back, Brad. Brad's got a different shirt on. Who are you with now?
Pac Trust Bank.
Pac Trust. You got 5 seconds to tell me what you think interest rates are going to do the rest of the year.
They're going to stay or head up.
How much will they go up, in your
They've
opinion?
got to get back to 5, 5 and a quarter.
That's a lot.
And the reason they got to
Between
get
now
there
and when?
is by November. The reason they got to get there is because the market's wanting people to have earning on their savings, and they're hand in hand. If you're not earning money on your savings, interest rates are low. So as they go up, what you can earn on your savings will go up, and also your new bills are coming out, so it's going to drive it up. You're going to
Okay.
start seeing
I think the consensus is the interest rates are going to continue to go up for the rest of the year. Where are we at today? 30-year fixed conventional.
4.5 on conventional, 4.25 on FHA.
So you're talking on that particular type of loan, that product is, in your thought, is going to potentially be at 5 or a little bit above 5 in the next 6 months. Is that a deal killer for us?
Some.
For some buyers? For some buyers. I mean, obviously that takes them from being able to qualify for a 250 to a 220, whatever it happens to be. Okay.
Now prices are up.
But does it also create additional demand? That's been my experience for someone who's done this for a long time. When interest rates start to go up, buyers kind of panic a little bit. And part of that panic is, I better get today before rates go up and I won't be able to qualify anymore. Lenders and realtors tend to contribute to that little bit of panic and that increased reason to buy. Because interest rates go up, buying power is diminished. It also, in theory, will slow down the appreciation of property values. Because as property values have increased, interest rates are artificially low, for lack of a better description. Now we may see a slowdown in property value increases.
So with every negative, there's a positive. One thing I've noticed, because I'm covering a big territory, probably most of Southern California right now, what I'm finding is less people are in the way, so you don't have 30 offers going in. You're having 10 to 12, so you have fewer people clouding the water. You're more apt to get your offer accepted. One of our sister offices in Santa Ana just had an open house with the top agent down there on a redo. It fell out because he didn't get a cross call from me. When he came to me to save it, I couldn't save it. It was unsavable. It never should have gone in. He had an open house this weekend. He had 42 buyers walk through. He got 2 offers on Monday morning. That's unheard of.
Only 2.
Only
What
2
price
offers.
range? What price range are we in?
$435,
435.
which in Santa Ana, Orange County is cheap.
Right. I'm just going to pull Moreno Valley up real quick. Again, this is live data. This is Moreno Valley median, so we don't have that skewed number of what's SoCal MLS doing. How did that impact our numbers? This is. Is it done? Okay. I think somebody said median price in Moreno Valley was about 200. Whoever said that, I thought I heard that. You're spot on. Median price, end of June, $200,000 on the button. Go back just 3 months ago. Well, last month was, I don't know if you can see this. Look at my mouse. 194 the month before that, 183 the month before that, 180, 177. January we were 175. So in January we're at 175. Today we're at 200. Okay. So, and I don't think this is going to happen, by the way. I don't think we're going to see property values pull back this year. But if interest rates do go up, instead of seeing, what have we seen? And we've seen a $25,000 increase in 5 months. Let's just call it $5,000 per month in appreciation every month in the city of Moreno Valley for the last 5 months, which represents, what does that represent? It's a from 175 to 200. Help me out on that. What is that? It's 20%. How much?
25%.
It's 20 in 5 months. It's not quite 25, but it's
Close.
close in 5 months. Okay, so maybe that's going to slow down a little bit. Maybe we'll only see an increase of another 10% for the rest of the year. Which honestly, in Moreno Valley, I don't think that's going to hold true because our values have been beaten up so significantly. Still buying a $200,000 median price for $200,000 is cheap, guys. You got to remember what we were selling for $200,000 in 2006. Who's familiar with Lakeview Sunnymead condos? What could you buy a condo for at the peak in 2006?
225.
$225. $225,000. I'm going to show you something else. Now, I have to remind myself of this a lot because I kind of get lost in my own, I wallow in my own misery, so to speak.
I would be fine with
Did I lose my connection? Because when you see values go up so fast, you kind of just, it doesn't make sense. It's too much, too fast, all this sort of stuff. Let me show you a picture of a house that most of you will probably recognize in one form or another. Almost there. By the way, everyone stay away from Anna. She's contagious. She won't admit it, but she is. Okay. Some of you have seen this house before. There it is. Okay, anybody recognize this? This is Warner Ranch,
Gentian.
corner of Paris and Gentian, basically.
By Home Depot?
Kind of north of Home Depot. Is this on Gentian? This isn't Gentian. This is Sheila.
That's Gentian.
This is Gentian.
Just south of those new apartments.
This house is right next to the little apartments. This house was built in the late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
This house is truly, when we sold, which by the way, this closed escrow in June of 2006. Okay? And the inside of this house was,
1950s.
let's just put it this way. You see how nice the yard looks? That's what the inside looked like. $305,000. Now, should that house have sold for $305,000? No. Okay, got that. But we still got a lot of room here in this marketplace. Okay, a lot of room in this marketplace for some positive stuff, as long as the buyers still have confidence. If the buyers lose, which is why I'm telling you, when you start getting those buyers that are coming in saying, oh, I don't want to buy, I've lost confidence in the marketplace, I think the world's coming to an end, then if we start to get a trend in that regard, then okay, then we'll talk a little bit more. But I don't see that right now. I just see blue skies. Okay, anybody got any comments on that? Okay, we're just got another few minutes and we'll open up for some questions. For the most part, with the exception of Rose, everybody's doing great. Just kidding, Rose.
That's true.
If you are using SkySlope and you're using it regularly to follow your transactions, then you can just tone out for the next 30 seconds. If you're not, all I can tell you is you will no longer get paid on your transactions. Okay? Lily is basically sending me a report with a check that says, hey, SkySlope looks good, missing 2 or 3 things. If that's the case, no big deal. Anna will hunt you down to get your 2 or 3 things. Check's going to be delivered, everything's good. If I get a report that says, hey, here's a commission check that just closed, no SkySlope. What I've discovered for a few of you is not only have you not used SkySlope, you haven't even given me a file, and I'm giving you checks. Ain't gonna happen. Party's over. We've had about 6 months to figure the program out. By the way, is everybody reasonably content with SkySlope? Is it working okay for you? Okay. If you're having problems, let me know or let Anna know. But for those of you, and it's not just in this office, we still have about 15% of our agents that are doing business that aren't using SkySlope. That's not going to work. You got to use it or you won't get paid. It's just that simple. Or if you just can't use it for whatever reason, I will carve out exceptions for those of you that just can't use it. But when you close escrow, you've got to give me a file, and then I'm going to charge you for that. I'm going to charge you because then somebody, Anna, or we talked about this before, Anna or Sarah or somebody has to take your stuff and plug it into the system, because that is the system of record, and you got to pay for that. So anyway, just use the system. I think you guys, if you use it, you'll like it. We talked a little bit about Wolf Connect. Anna will shoot you out an email today. If you have interest in being our first run beta testers, just reply back to Anna. We'll get you an access to that as soon as we have it. And again, it's going to be a very short window. Hopefully, August 1, we'll shoot out an email to everybody and says, here it is, and you can log in and take a look at it. I don't anticipate this to be the type of program you're going to live in, but I think you guys will find some value in it. Summer's doing great. Property management's doing fine. Oh, by the way, which reminded me, I don't know if you guys noticed, Leandra's back. Hi, Leandra. Leandra's going to do 2 things. Number one, she's still Leandra, superstar sales agent, but she's also going to be helping us a little bit part-time in the property management side. So just as kind of a reminder to everybody, if you think that you might see some value in participating a little bit in our property management system, in other words, you find a landlord that might want to sell their property, you can make some money doing that. So we talk about it periodically, and really the only agents that are actively doing that right now are still Mike Boab, and Debbie signs up a couple here and there, and I'm probably missing 1 or 2 of you. I apologize if I am. And Rose has signed up a couple, 3. All I can do is I'll just point to Mike. I mentioned this in the sales awards thing 4 or 5 months ago. Now, granted, Mike's worked in this office for 20 years, so he's got a little bit of a history. But did anybody remember how many escrows he said he closed that came out of the property management department in that 20 years? Anybody? It's over 100. Not bad. The guy's closed over 100 escrows that he wouldn't otherwise have closed because they came out of our property management department. Okay? So, I don't know about you, but I could use an extra few escrows a year. What is that, 5 escrows a year on average? Who'd like to do an extra 5 deals a year? Who'd like to do 5 deals a year? Okay? And again, I told you earlier to take Stephen out to lunch. Take Mike out to lunch. It ain't that complicated. Does anybody think Mike's in the property management business? No. If you ask Mike today, what business are you in? Would he say I'm in the property management business? No. If you said, how many deals have you done out of property management? About 5 a year. Guys, it doesn't happen by accident, and he's not like he's spending a lot of time doing it. He's just signing up landlords and he's getting the benefit of those landlords coming back to him. So, at any rate, help us out with property management if you can. I don't know that we have anything that's hot. We do still have, we've got two, oh, I wanted to put this on here. Next, first of all, this is the Gem Blue thing. I think we beat that to death. Nobody's going, right? I'm the only one going? Okay, I will report back in October. Next Wednesday, we haven't even sent out an email, have we? Okay, next Wednesday, if you're interested, we are doing a, I don't even know what it is. What is the video training thing?
Oh, yeah, I did send an email, but I haven't gotten the dates and times, so.
Well, the dates
I
and
mean, the
times are set.
location, the location.
Okay, we're going next Wednesday at a location to be determined, Doubletree Inn. We have no choice, right? It's gonna be at the Doubletree in Ontario. It's a 2 or 3 hour deal. We've got a guy coming in through Global Banker who's basically going to try to do a better job at what I've tried to do for the last year or two, and basically encourage everybody to use video. So if you've been on the fence, or if you're using video but you need a little bit more help, he's going to show you how easy it is. He's going to do a little. Who's seen Videolicious? I think you, Chris and I were talking about Videolicious. Who has never heard of Videolicious? Okay. You probably want to go, if for no other reason, just to check that out, especially if you're video shy. It's pretty cool, pretty simple. So if you're just terrified of doing a video, which most of you in the office are terrified of doing videos, because none of you do videos, with the exception of like 3 of you. What are you laughing at? So anyway, next Wednesday, Anna will send a reminder email. We're inviting all 5 offices. Quite honestly, I'm hoping to get 35 people there from all 5 offices, so I'm not expecting more than a few people from every office. But we're going to do it at the Doubletree, right, Anna? Right, Anna?
Yes.
Just say yes.
Yes.
We're going to do it at the Doubletree next Wednesday. I think it's from 9 to noonish. So, at any rate, that's going on there. I'll tell you, I've had 3 agents that have got themselves into a panic on their real estate license renewal. Guys, you got to pay attention to the dates on those things. You cannot conduct business if your license has expired and your stuff is not complete. Okay? So there's a couple of people that recently, and I have 2 right now, that their license have lapsed and they have open escrows. Guess what? We're giving a roast. Okay? You cannot operate on those
Because she won't
files.
stick it in Sky Slope, it's just she won't.
Exactly. Don't give it a
Oh,
roast.
no, I'm getting it.
Just-
That's it.
There you go.
That was
So,
quick.
At any rate, keep an eye on those expiration dates. They sneak up on you. I just had mine sneak up on me. I've sat down with a couple people and done some business planning for 2013. Not a whole heck of a lot of you, so we'll talk a little bit more about that if you're interested. If you want to shoot a video today, fantastic. We're still doing our Make-A-Wish thing. Anybody got any questions? We'll take the last 2 minutes or 5 minutes and open it up. Yes.
I can barely talk because she gave me her cooties.
Yes, Anna's sick.
Last chemotherapy is this week for the baby, so
Okay.
that's where we're going. And we just pray that everything goes the way it's supposed to go. Everything's great. And
And
he
you got a
acts
new
like
eye.
a 1-year-old. He
Right.
acts like a 1-year-old. He doesn't act like anything's wrong with him.
Right.
So praise God, that's where we're at.
Right.
So.
And he got a new eye.
donation. He's got an eye.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Right.
Yep. That's
Pretty
it.
cool.
That's
If you
pretty
guys
cool.
haven't seen the picture, it's Quinn, right?
It's
Quinn.
Quinn.
Baby
It
Quinn.
is
If you haven't
Quinn.
seen the
Mighty
picture of Baby
Quinn.
Quinn with his new little
He
James
just looks
Bond glass eye,
Facebook.
pretty cool.
It looks pretty good. That guy's good. The guy that did the actual artwork looks great.
Right. And the other eyes, all right?
Yeah, no, they see nothing. They see no tumor. They can't find the tumors.
They see nothing.
They can't find the tumors. Snacky with
No, I
this.
can't see nothing. Okay, that's great. That is great news. And anybody got anything else that's good for the group? Oh, Brad, yes.
Do I have a
Took
couple?
my dinner.
No, you can't. But you're welcome to hang around after the meeting. I do have something that, frankly, I really wanted to make a big deal out of it, and since it's at the end of the meeting, I'll make a small deal out of it. We have a new commission schedule. Okay, I've been thinking about redoing the commission schedule for ever, and I'm constantly redoing the commission schedule. But I finally redid the commission schedule. We will email it out to everybody, if not today, certainly within the next couple of days. It is done. We might just need to format it and clean up a couple typos, but it is basically done. For the most part, and by the way, just so there's no panic, if you look at the commission schedule, and let's just, for example, say that you are currently on a 70-30, and you look at the schedule, and you're like, ooh, based upon what the schedule says, I should be on a 67.5 instead of a 70% split. Don't worry about that. I'm not publishing this to say, oh, by the way, automatically everybody falls into this category. Okay? But that's something we want to take a look at. On the flip side of that, if you are on a 70-30 and you look at the commission schedule, you're like, well, based upon this, I should be at a 72.5 or a 75. Come see me. Okay? In theory, once we get this all in place and we get it in our system, it'll be automatic. But at any rate, if that is the case, come let me know. There is one other part of the commission schedule which is new, and frankly, this is kind of probably a little awkward, so I don't want to, anybody who has a private office, I don't want you to panic. But we have also reallocated, if you've been doing this business for a long time, and I don't care how many offices you've worked in, there is something sacred about private offices. And there's also something that tends to happen with private offices. People that get in private offices tend to stay there forever. And then agents, like, let's just say Mr. Leeper, for example, who kind of sit back and say, well, geez, how the hell do I get an office? Or why are these offices not available? First of all, I'm not a big fan of private offices. I don't like them. If I had my way, I'd wave my magic wand, we would have no private offices. Not that we wouldn't have professional offices for people to meet clients with, but this is the deal. We have a new schedule for private offices. So those of you that have them, by the way, congratulations to Debbie, because Debbie was the first agent, for lack of a better description, in the bullpen who met the threshold to get the private office. And she basically took the office that Leandra was in. So if those of you were kind of wondering, oh, wait a minute, why did I not get that office as opposed to Debbie did get it? Well, take a look at the schedule that we're going to be emailing you. And you'll kind of be able to get a little bit better idea of what it takes to get into an office and what it takes to keep an office, at least from a private office standpoint. It's always a touchy subject. What my broker, we were not going to do this, but I'll tell you what, maybe we will do this. We'll take a straw vote. But what my broker used to do 25 years ago, I'll just take Chris as an example because his production is such that if he doesn't want a private office, he's going to probably be at least in line to want one or earn one anyway. My broker used to say, if you want an office, you pick the weakest office in the group and you challenge them. You say, I want Debbie's office. Not that you're the weakest agent in the office, but I want Debbie's office, and we would have a contest. 3 months, 4 months. Whoever had the highest production in that window of time between Debbie and the challenger got that office. Now, for a few of you that have those offices, you may be saying, what kind of bullshit is that? Right? Which is why we're not going to do that, but we do definitely have to have those types of conversations. So that is part of the commission schedule. That's why I bring it up. So if those of you that don't have a private office and you're thinking about how nice it would be to get one, you want to grab that, set it up. We have a meeting in like 7 minutes. Just let me know and we can talk about that. Having said that, if you're wondering what's going on with these, my arm can be twisted, my mind can be changed, but my thought for the moment is not to turn these into private offices. My thought is to just leave them open.
It's nice the way it is.
Yeah, well, it's going to look nicer. We're going to put some flat screens on there and paint them hopefully in the next couple weeks.
I'll wait till you do that until I ask for it.
Yeah, once you get it all done.
Okay.
So-